Let me start by reading this beautiful prayer demand by Master from Whispers from Eternity. Keep the needle of my compass, of my attention, ever pointing toward Thee. Whether soaring through the sky, encased in a steel air cage, or drawn o'er land by snorting iron steeds, or moving easily over smooth highways on rubber wheels, or having my very thoughts paralyzed by the pounding din of assembly lines, the compass of my needle will ever keep turning toward my magnetic North Pole of divine love. Isn't that a beautiful image? Beaten by winds of happenstance, drenched by cloud bursts of misery, sucked down in the mud of soul-enmeshing, ego-whipped activity, or wandering lost in the jungles of confusion, my mind will yet ever reach out for Thy guiding touch. The raft of my life, tossed about helplessly by the driving storms of need, was drifting toward rocks of insatiable desires. O pole star in our wisdom skies, Thy twinkling light beckoned and directed me toward Thy shores of eternal contentment. Through cloudless, countless mechanisms pound, twist or stretch my anguished nerves, yet will the homing pigeon of my love wing its way peacefully toward its true home in Thee. This statement of today's service, seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. As Swami pointed out in the reading, it's certainly one of the most famous statements of, and most important statements of Jesus in the Bible. But I suspect also it is one of the most misunderstood statements. So let's delve into that a little bit more. First of all, let's take the kingdom of God. What is the kingdom of God? Well, first of all, the kingdom of God is not a place. Let me use this illustration. Just for a moment, close your eyes and try to visualize being in a room. And in the room, there's a desk with papers on it. Typical office scene. Sitting at the desk is a woman, older woman with kind of a cardigan on, white and red cardigan sweater. And overhead is a simple chandelier. Okay, picture that as well as you can in your mind. Okay, so the reason I chose that image is because last night I had a dream, and I was in a room like that, and it was a bank office. I don't know why exactly I had to go to a bank office in my dream, but I did. Now, as I tried to picture it here, it was fuzzy. In the dream, it was absolutely clear, and I was enmeshed. There was no question about, is this really a desk? What are the I just saw everything, as we do in a dream. So what is the difference between our imagination or a visualization like this and a dream? Well, Master explains it. He says simply that in a dream at the sleep state, our energy of the senses and the outgoing energy is withdrawn into the central spine and in the brain. And because there's more energy in the brain, our thoughts become very clear. So this is the subconscious state of dreaming. But the problem with sleeping and having the energy withdrawn like that is that Master called that in the deep sleep state where we're completely withdrawn and completely centered, he called it counterfeit samadhi, because in samadhi also our energy is withdrawn. But a sleep state is counterfeit because we aren't aware of the fact that that's the state that we're in. A dream, we're more or less aware of the dream that we're in, but we aren't aware that it's a dream. It just is there. It's a state of consciousness, a level of consciousness. So the kingdom of God is not a place any more than in that dream, if I had been trying to find the state of wakefulness, I wouldn't have picked up an atlas to look at where is the state of wakefulness. Is it near the state of North Carolina or I would have understood, I hope, that the state of awareness, the level of awareness, of wakefulness, is simply a different level of energy of my consciousness. And so, the kingdom of God is simply a different level of energy or different vibration. It isn't a place. It's within us, around us, everywhere. But we don't perceive it because we don't have enough energy in our consciousness, in our brain. So part of the whole process of meditation is to withdraw the energy from the senses and from the outgoing flow, and to bring it up to the brain, but especially to the higher centers that the brain represents. And if we can do that successfully, that high energy state will bring us into superconsciousness.